Good afternoon, everyone. It's really good to have you here with us today for the Digital Talent Engine information event. Thank you very much for taking the time out to join us in no doubt busy schedules that everybody has. But we've had a lot of information requests, a lot of general interest in the actual project. And, you know, we've been running for the last 6 months, and it really just felt like the right opportunity now to have a session like this and to really give you some more information and provide information to both people who have followed the Talent Engine for the last 6 months, but also to people who are just reaching out now and really looking to find out a little bit more about us. So sorry to those who have already got a little bit of background, but what I will do is provide a full background, obviously, to people who are just joining us for the first time. Please feel free to put any questions that you've got in the chat box, and we'll just do our best to try and answer any of those. I just wanted to do a very quick introduction to obviously Dynamo Northeast. You know, for those of you who don't know who we are an industry-led non-for-profit business, really with the core mission to grow the Northeast tech economy, and we do that through collaboration with industry businesses and through our membership as well. And we really are that voice, and we are seen as that voice in the region now for the sort of the hotspot for tech and digital and that noise. So I just wanted to give you that little bit of an overview. But next slide. Before sort of really move on, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Helen Tong, the project lead. For those of you who don't know me, I've been with the Digital Talent Engine since it started 6 months ago, and slowly started to grow the team. We have Eleanor Gorman, who you'll be able to see there, who's the Digital Talent Engine Manager, and she'll be able to just introduce herself now, say hello, or as and when she comes into the project. And we also have Freya Usman, who's our EDI manager. It's a really important part of our project because it is a very sort of you know, diverse and inclusive project offering. So into the Talent Engine itself. Next slide, please. And the next one. That was us. Sorry, just go back, obviously, Claire. If you want to connect with us on LinkedIn, please do. We will be sending this around to everybody, and you can also contact us on the web URL, which you'll be able to see at the bottom of the screen. So really, we just set out what we'd like to talk about today, Claire, to the next slide. We really wanted to give you an overview of, you know, what is the Digital Talent Engine? What are we actually trying to do, and why are we doing it, and how has it come about? And what the benefits will be to industry-wide, you know, across the North of Tyne and ultimately across the Northeast. It's something that we can't have boundaries around, but ultimately it's a North of Tyne project. And then just to give us a bit of an idea of the progress of where we've come and how far we've come in the last 6 months. And then obviously what those next steps will be based on what we found out and based on, you know, how we're looking at moving this forward. And then ultimately the most important part is how can you get involved and how can you, you know, sort of reap those benefits that the project should give you. Next slide, please. So what is the Digital Talent Engine? So this is a new initiative that aims to grow the Northeast digital tech sector by strengthening the region's talent pipeline. Over the last sort of year and a half, Dynamo have been working with the North of Tyne Combined Authority to look at, you know, how do we support sustainable growth of the digital sector in the Northeast and North of Tyne. And we know that we need to focus on the development of the talent pipeline. So the Digital Talent Engine was born, as it were, and the North of Tyne Combined Authority has provided funding for the project, which is also then matched with employer sponsorship, etc. So it's a 3-year project. and it's part of the Norfolk Tyne Combined Authority's £10 million growth and innovation programme. So really feeding into what's actually happening around the region as well. And as I say, it's been up and running. We've been running for the last 6 months, and we're really starting to sort of get into that now. So the talent engine is really what we will do, and what it will do is drive that collaboration between employers, education providers, to really help to try and articulate in a meaningful way digital career paths that are available to people in the North of Tyne and across the region, to really provide more early to career and new digital training focused roles. We know that there are a broad spectrum of roles across the sector that require lots of different sort of skills. But what we do know is that the level entry in particular side of things, from all the research that we've done, we know that there is that disconnect between what's happening in the marketplace and what opportunities are being provided, and then what the talent is actually feeling like they, what they can attach into and what they can find. So really, there is a bit of a disconnect. We know there is a disconnect. It's been going on for quite a long time. So it's what can we do about it? So the talent engine is there really to bring together those audience types in a very, very collaborative way, so that we have employers, we have education providers, and then we have those candidates. And those candidates, as we say, initially we're focusing on the early entry level, because we just can't do everything in one go, but that doesn't mean that we aren't open to middle management and also to boomerangers and people who are switching. So the talent engine will provide those accessible and diverse pathways, and as I say, it is about collaboration, which is really, really important. In particular, from an employer's point of view, we welcome anybody onto the platform, but we are very mindful that from a small to medium enterprise point of view, we really want to help to move those businesses forward, to help raise their profile and provide those digital opportunities to really attract the talent that they need to fuel their growth. So next slide, please. So saying all of that, what is our focus? Well, ultimately, creating and filling jobs, meaningful digital roles is really what we're looking for, and what the Norfolk Tyne Combined Authority are wanting, and that's their ask basically out of this project. So Talent Engine, really to achieve that, as I say, we will look at connecting employers with the right talent and with the right roles that we know that talent are looking for. We'll also look at candidates building their understanding of the roles that are available and how their skills are aligned to the roles that are out there. This is a really, really important part of the project, and a lot of our discovery stage in this project has looked at what is it that is stopping that is stopping the connect between talent and opportunities that are out there. And what we've found is that candidates are really confused by the noise that's out there in the digital space, what roles mean, whether their skills actually fit into that. So part of the Talent Engine, a major part of the Talent Engine, is actually providing a lot of content and a lot of information to people who are looking to come into the sector or are looking to try and match their skills. We know this is a big issue, and so it's an area that we'll be focusing a lot of our time and our content on. The other way that the Talent Engine will help, as I've said, is to connect with the academic and training world and organisations, and welcome to all the universities who are on here today. It's great, it's really great to have you on board, and to have your support with this. So the connection with employers and with education providers, we know is very, very important, and the Talent Engine is very much there as a signpost to enable the journey through the Talent Engine to be a very seamless one, depending on what level our candidates are. From a collaboration point of view, sorry, could we move on there, please? So it's really, really important. I have mentioned the word collaboration quite a few times, but this really is the glue to the success of what we're trying to do. In order to be able to push this forward, it's only going to really be successful if we have the collaboration of all of our businesses. You know, the talent is being pushed around the actual engine, and people feel that it's somewhere to come for really good connectivity, really good information, and our online platform will really show that. We are very, very focused on the equality, diversity and inclusion side of things. This is very important to us. So you can see how the collaboration and the EDI really sort of sit around this whole project. You know, the Talent Engine's ambition is to really provide an exceptional user experience, and to be that digital platform of choice. And integral to this is really recognising and celebrating and improving our diversity and our inclusion. So that's very, very important to us. From a content perspective, you can see there on the left, our online platform, this has really been informed, you know, by this sort of initial discovery stage. You know, what is it that what is it that people are saying to us? What is it that employers want, that are frustrated with all their challenges and their pain points? What is it that, you know, candidates want or are finding challenging? And we found that it was content, and the Talent Engine will be the shop window of rich content, so where people can find and understand where they actually sit within the digital world. And through this, we will be creating communities, which will make it much easier for somebody who lands on the Digital Talent Engine to sit and fit within a community, which will help to sort of, you know, push away the noise that a lot of candidates find that they have with regards to where do I sit? Do I sit in a creative digital area? Do I sit in an IT? Do I sit in data analytics? But we'll go into that as we move through the slides. So as I say, content is really, really key to the site, and we'll need to have a lot of sort of information on their case studies, but Eleanor's going to go into all of that around content, so I won't steal her thunder. So this is not just about a hiring portal, because we know that information is what a lot of people who are going for digital roles are looking for. So the site is for employers to join and raise their profiles, you know, provide their job opportunities, and really allow that candidate to be able to find the right opportunity for them based on the information that they have actually found. So it's going to be very much content driven, and this is really, really important to what we're doing moving forward. So we know from the research that candidates really feel overwhelmed with the noise of the industry, can often feel lost. So what we're trying to do is really demystify that journey, really help the navigation and make it easy so that people don't bounce off. Retention is really, really important within the region, and really that's what we're trying to do here, is to enable our talent to find the opportunities that are right for them, and provide sort of you know, information and guidance, and also, you know, allow people to find out, as I say, where they sit and what career path is right for them, and what that could look like to them when coming in. So that's the opportunities. The mentoring is a really big part of the program and the platform as well. And this is where, you know, anybody really from the industry or from, you know, the sort of employer side of things can actually provide input, and we would love mentors to be coming on board with us, because this is really what we know candidates are wanting. Then they're really hungry for information. They don't just want to talk about their skills, they want to talk about what's the day-to-day, what's happening in the job, what will I be doing, who's done it before, where can I get that rich information. So we know that mentoring is something that we really want to push and work with. And again, sort of from a training perspective, the training links that we'll have on there, is to signpost any upskilling that's required. We're not here to do the role of the trainers, but we are here to help candidates find their way to where they need to be, should they need to upskill to be able to then take on an opportunity. The sort of supporting side of this is that we are looking to launch various events. This is the first one of those formally, I would say, but we will be having events where we'll be bringing people together, so please do keep an eye out for that, and we'll be promoting that. The business support side of things as well is really important. So as a business, if you come on to the Talent Engine and you join up, there'll be various areas of support that we can work on with you as well, and any sort of new courses or programs that we think we can help on as Talent Engine, we'll be looking at that as well. And from a thought leadership point of view, we really want this to become a community where people are actually providing information, case studies, and businesses, especially in the different categories, from a sponsorship point of view, if people are sponsoring, this could be an area where really thought leadership could sort of land with yourself. Next slide, please, Claire. So our career communities that I've just been talking about, what we do know is that the noise creates confusion, and within the Digital Talent Engine, we are moving to create communities and career communities. So these allow somebody to land into data and insight because they've understood that their skill set sits within that through our navigation. So that might lead them to being a data analyst or data engineer or a BI analyst, for example. Or if they went through to creative digital, it could be graphic design, creative motion designer, etc., etc. So we know that we will sort of push people into the channels that we know that they will land. So each of those has very specific roles that will help people to again get more information depending as they move through it. Next slide, please, Claire. So the benefits really for the different groups and audiences are that from an employer point of view, that the Digital Talent Engine will help to raise your profile amongst job seekers. We know from speaking to candidates that, especially in the Northeast, they don't know which business to go to. There's a lot of confusion. Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Where can I go to become a cyber security specialist analyst? Where can I go to? Which gaming business can I go and work with? So we know that the profile raising side of things is what is required. It's what's been asked of. It's what's frustrating, I think, for a job seeker. And also, from an employer's point of view, find and recruit the top talent, because the quality side of things will come through because people have very much done their knowledge research by the time they come to that opportunity, or if they see an opportunity and they don't understand what that opportunity is, then hopefully they can go back into their community in the Talent Engine and understand what that might look like. And obviously, we're looking to grow the sector. We're looking to make sure that people stay here and that we retain them. So, as employers, you're contributing to that prosperity of the Northeast tech sector. Job seekers, ultimately, they can explore digital roles, find the right career paths, question what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing, and also enable them to seek out further knowledge as they require if upskilling is what's needed. And I think really just also improving the employability, from people that we've spoken to, they aren't job ready, they're not sure what's expected of them. So, it's that personal branding, how do I go for an interview? What questions do I ask? How do I, prepare myself? And so there's that access and support, which then goes back to the mentors, which again was very much something that was required and wanted and asked for. And then the education providers who ultimately are providing this talent to us, especially from the early entry level, whether that's coming out of college, whether it's coming out of university, etc. So really it's about connecting with, educators with those employers and making sure that we're all coming together as one. But again, about collaboration, not competition, it's collaboration. And I think that's the most important thing, is that this is very much a knowledge share, and somewhere where people can actually really raise the profile of their business in such a way that you've got people coming through who are, as I say, of a quality level. So, sorry, next slide, Claire. So progress. So where are we and what have we really been doing? So, boy, we've had a busy few months. Lots of engagement, lots of conversations, lots of sort of talking to people from all different walks of the sector. And initially we started off sort of really scoping the project. So we had the business case, had a really good understanding of what it was that we were looking to do, but actually was that right? Were we in the right sort of place? So we scoped out, looked at what that brief was, and then really needed to find a partner, sort of an agency who could help us along the way with the project that we would be doing, certainly from a discovery perspective. So we did that very rigorous process of getting MediaWorks, who are our digital agency, on board, and we've been doing quite a lot of internal and external consultation workshops with employers and candidates, and this has really led us to sort of think about what it is that we needed to do, and we've not pursued and moved forward with what we think, we've moved forward with what we've been told that the marketplace requires. And that's then really led us to look into what does our brand look like, which we're busy working on at the moment. What does the online platform look like, what is required out of that, and really what's the solution design to that. So we've been doing that. We've had a really, really positive positive sort of conclusion to that, and now we're sort of, as I say, we're at this stage where we're sort of reevaluating what that looks like to make sure that we're moving forward and this is going to be a successful project and working for those who are really telling us what is needed out there. So it's not a hiring portal, it's really something where it's rich in content that then allows those opportunities to be explored, and clearly we want job creation out of this. So next slide, please. I'll go into the vision afterwards, but we just wanted to share really what we've been doing behind the scenes. So I keep talking about, we've been speaking, we've had research, we've spoken, we've done this, we've done that, but we have been busy. We've had some good workshops, and Claire, do you want to just play a little, play the main one, and then we can just explain what we've got out of this. Okay, so that gives you a bit of an idea. So we have actually spoken to people. I guess that's our sort of evidence that we have. That was one of our workshops that we did. And it was really, really interesting. We had employers there, we had, actual job seekers, graduates, etc. So it was a really informative way of us understanding exactly what people wanted. And out of that, we really looked at what are those communities, and in the top right hand corner, you won't be able to see it all, but it just gives you an idea of the depth that we've gone into, is to say these are the different roles and skills that sit within each of those communities. That then cuts out the noise. So you'll be, the navigation will go into a particular community. And then the third slide down there on the right hand side, again, you won't be able to see that, but it just shows, you know, that we've been through that journey and we know exactly where we need to be, which is very, very content heavy at the very front of our journey with you know, with people who come onto the site. And the little red dots along the bottom are just basically all the pain points that we got from candidates, from education providers, from employers, to be able to really work out what is it that they've asked for and how we're actually going to really you know, provide a solution. So as part of that stage, you know, we have been understanding our key stakeholders, really doing the sort of the customer mapping journey, looking at sort of the SEO keywords and which roles are determined, you know, and demanded the most, and just defining what that site structure looks like, and then the career families being the actual main, the main sort of, I guess, platform that people will work from. Next slide, please. So, okay, so we got to where we were, which is going through that sort of, you know, initial discovery stage. We're now at that point where it's the vision of, okay, reevaluate, having a look, seeing what, you know, we need to do, validating what that looks like, making sure that we're in a position of, okay, let's move forward with this, and that our stakeholders are happy. And then really we're moving on to that sort of delivery stage where we'll be starting to put together the online platform, pulling together all the content from the many, many people who've registered, employers who've registered, to ensure that we've got a very, very rich site that is ready to go for that talent who are going to come to the site and be wanting to look for their next step and their next opportunity. And we're looking to launch this around about October time. So that's very much based, the timing is very much based around you know, the academic year and students coming back into the fold. So we want to make sure that we have everything in a place so that we're ready to go for that. Next slide, please. So that's just for me a very quick overview of where we are from a progress point of view, and then I'm going to pass over to Eleanor, who's just going to tell you about content, because content's really important. So thanks, Eleanor.
Thanks, Helen. Yes, so basically, as Helen's been saying, we're looking to develop a lot of rich content. So we've been putting together a content strategy, which I'll tell you a little bit about how you can get involved with that content development. And I'll also say a little bit about some other ways that you can get involved. So yes, there's contributing guest content, and we'll look at what that might involve. There's featuring in our talent talks, which is a brand new series of recorded talks around matters relating to tech and digital with an EDI focus. So we'll have a look at that. You can become a mentor, as Helen mentioned earlier on in the talk, and we'll see what that might involve. You can sign up to our newsletter, which I know that a lot of you who are attending here today are already signed up to our newsletter, but I'll talk about how you can do that and why you might want to. You can follow us on socials. So on the right-hand side here, you can see all of our social accounts that we have here. We've got quite a few, some are newer than others. So we're experimenting with TikTok, but we have quite a well-established LinkedIn page. So definitely, if you're not following us on LinkedIn, you can follow this, the link on this slide, which will circulate after the session, and join our page for Dynamo Talent Engine, and we'll provide lots of updates and information there for you. And our website is on the top of that list. So we're developing the Digital Talent Engine platform, but until that's launched, we have a microsite which you can go on to. You can find out a bit of information about the Talent Engine. You can find our brochures, information about sponsorship, and you can sign up to the newsletter there. So that link at the very top, the Digital Talent Engine, that's a great place to go for a bit of information until we launch fully in the autumn. And finally, we'll talk a little bit about sponsorship at the end. So next slide, please, Claire. Okay, so yes, so one of the real ways that you can get involved is contributing content. So there's a huge amount of content that we're looking to develop and that we've got all planned out. We've been in touch already with some guest contributors, because we would love to get everybody in the region involved in developing, co-creating content for the site, so that our content is really reflective of the region, of the roles and the experiences of people in our region. So there are some examples on this slide of what that content might be, and obviously this is very high level. But take, for example, case studies. So we would love to have case studies of people in lots of different roles across all of our different career communities, talking about what it's like to be a UX designer or a software developer, you know, in all these different roles, to have real people talking about their real jobs and their experiences, their day-to-day experiences of their jobs, of their career paths, and how they got to where they are now. And we'd really like to hear from people from a range of different backgrounds, people in different organisations, so across all different sectors, people from local government, people from SMEs, large corporates, charities, just capturing these different perspectives on digital and tech roles in the Northeast. We're also wanting to really, as Helen was saying, have EDI, equality, diversity, inclusion, underpinning everything. So we really want to capture a diversity of views. So that's people from a whole range of different backgrounds, different career paths, different routes into tech, and really have those personal narratives and personal journeys shared with people who are looking to get into tech themselves, so that people can see that you have these different entry routes and these squiggly pathways into different careers. Other things that we're looking to produce and that are being produced at the moment are practical tips. So people who are looking for jobs, maybe for their first job in digital or tech, or moving on to their first role after they've just got into the sector. Practical tips on things like professional branding, preparing for interviews, putting together an application, these practical tips on how to get your first job in tech, or how to get your second role in tech. So we have people producing guest content, and we'll be developing content too on that. And I'd be interested in speaking to people who might be able to help in these areas, and we can discuss possible ways of working together. And blog posts. So blog posts are another thing that we're developing around a particular theme, a particular challenge that might be for job seekers, but maybe also for employers. So we're creating content for people who are looking for jobs, but we're also creating content for other people who will use the platform. So for employers who are looking to recruit people, for education providers who are developing their students. And this kind of links with the thought leadership piece here. We'd be really interested with organisations who are experiencing challenges, or who have been running a programme that's going particularly well, to produce content that will share their experiences and benefit other people in our region. So for example, I'm talking to a fantastic local organisation about producing a blog post, a thought leadership post about their internship programme, which is a short-term internship which has been having fantastic benefits to their organisation. So they're going to be producing a thought leadership piece around their internship programme, what they do, how it's benefited them, and some lessons that they've learned from that. Because we feel that things like that might be of use to other organisations who are considering bringing in interns or bringing in apprenticeships and not quite sure where to start or where the value might be. So we'd like to start those conversations through this content. And we're not just talking about written content either. So we're working with the fantastic agency MediaWorks, who are able to help us produce videos and podcasts and other interactive contents that we can use within our site to help people explore digital careers and digital roles within the region. And Claire, the next slide, please. So I mentioned the talent talks, and this is something that Faria is driving forward, our EDI manager, and it's a fantastic idea. She's developing a brand new show called Talent Talks, and this will be a recorded show starting in June, and there'll be weekly episodes, and Faria will interview people about tech digital topics, particularly with an EDI focus, and we will have those recordings on our YouTube channel and also as podcasts. So that's really exciting. We're going to have an agenda of topics and we'll be sharing that with people. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know. And yeah, we would love to hear from lots of different people, lots of different experiences and perspectives on the topics that we've chosen there. Next slide, please, Claire. Okay, so yes, Helen's also mentioned about mentoring and how important that is. So yeah, we all know that mentoring is so crucial for any career progression, but especially for digital and tech careers where things are moving so quickly that there are new and growing areas of work and new and growing roles that people might not even be aware of. So mentors are really great for helping people to explore those options, to make them aware of roles that maybe they didn't know existed before, and to give personal insights into their own roles and experiences in their job. So on the platform, when we launch in October, we will have a large and diverse pool of mentors that people who are looking for jobs can browse and get in touch with and ask for a conversation around their job role to get insights into what they do on a daily basis, what skills they use, what they like, what they don't like about their jobs, and really give that insider knowledge about their jobs. But we don't want to wait until October. So we're going to be running a mentoring pilot over the summer, which will be a very small scale pilot where we'll have a group of mentors and a group of people who want to be mentored. And the mentees we will match with a mentor based on their skills and their career aspirations. And the mentor and the mentee will meet a couple of times online, and we'll discuss topics to help that mentee explore their career options in the Northeast. So I'm currently developing that program, but if you're interested in being a mentor, you can sign up now. We'd love to have lots of Northeast voices in amongst that, but I see a question in the chat from Nasli. It's lovely to see you on here, Nasli, about whether companies based not in the region can contribute, and I definitely say yes. If there are mentors from other organisations, please do sign up. Our focus is on getting people into work in the Northeast and particularly north of Tyne, but there's so much expertise and knowledge out there that we'd love to talk to you about the possibility of being mentors for the Digital Talent Engine too. So yeah, and we're looking for people from a wide range of roles. We've got a list of some of them down on the left-hand side of this screen. So we're looking for technical roles, non-technical roles, creative roles, anybody really who's working in a digital or a tech related role. We're really keen to talk to you about mentorship, and again, a real focus on EDI, and we'd love to create a really diverse pool of mentors. And we know that saying of you can't be what you can't see, and we'd love to have people who can really help to inspire the next intake of talent in the region. Next slide, please, Claire. Yes, so I mentioned our newsletter, and you can sign up to the newsletter. If you're interested in the Talent Engine, you just go to our website, which is on this little pink button here, and you can express your interest in the Talent Engine. By doing that, we'll be able to have a record to know that you're interested in finding out more about us, so we can get in touch with you mainly through our newsletter. And the newsletter will give you information about upcoming events. It'll give you updates on things that we've been doing behind the scenes. It'll talk about ways that we can collaborate and opportunities for you to get involved. So I really would suggest signing up to the newsletter if you can, because it's a fantastic way to keep up to date with the Talent Engine. And we're very busy at the moment, but our activity is only going to keep ramping up until we launch in October. So we'll have lots of stuff to share with you there. We won't spam you. We don't send out newsletters unless we have information that we want to share with you. We won't just send one just for the sake of it. But there'll be some really good, useful information there for people who are looking for jobs, for employers and for education providers. So we'd really encourage you to sign up if you're interested. Next slide, please, Claire. I'll hand back over to Helen now to talk about sponsorship. You're on mute, Helen.
Sorry about that. So thank you very much, Eleanor, for sharing that with us. I think it hopefully will give you an understanding and breadth of, you know, what we're looking at and how we're moving things forward, and how we really want to talk to you and engage with you and sort of collaborate at this stage. I think it's really, really important that, you know, if you are interested in the Talent Engine, then please do register and you know, let us work with you moving forward. Just the last little bit at the end about sponsorship. So I mentioned at the beginning, it's obviously public funded by the North of Tyne Combined Authority. But, you know, as with all things, you know, we want to make this a real success. So we do have a sponsorship element to the project, and would absolutely love you to get involved if that's something that you feel that you and your business would like to you know, be part of the Digital Talent Engine. And really, you know, why become a sponsor? And you know, it really will help to promote your organisation as a digital thought leader in this space. And there are a number of different packages which I'll just give you you know, some highlighted overview to in the next slide. You know, it will obviously help to raise your profile as a business amongst those potential applicants. If we go back to what we were saying in the research stage, you know, I'm sure as businesses we all think everybody knows about us, but they don't, and it's a very confusing marketplace. So, you know, not just as a sponsor, you know, would we raise your profile, but clearly if you are sponsoring the Talent Engine, you know, we will be promoting and talking a lot more about your business. And obviously use your brand and expertise to grow the regional sector, you know, being a thought leader, you know, really sort of getting involved in discussions, being part of our events, etc. And really helping to build those communities that, you know, you were either sponsoring, which we do have sponsorship for, or just actually being part of the Talent Engine. So if you could just move on to the next slide, please, Claire. So what our sponsorship packages are, as you can see, we've already got a couple that have been sold already or have gone, is we have the sort of general sponsorship pack, which goes from bronze to platinum, as you can see, and there are various benefits that you as an organisation would get depending on which sponsorship level we have. You know, for example, on that side of things, we you know, Newcastle University have already sponsored, and that's absolutely fantastic. Really, really great to see that sort of they're on board. And I know that we've had some other you know, interest from the education side of things. So thank you very much for that. And also really, so each of the ones on the right are our community-based sponsorship packages. So as we've talked about on the Talent Engine, there will be communities where you know, candidates will land, and all of that information will be around that part of the sector of those sort of, you know, that category of job roles. And we've got data and insights, user research and relationships. And as I say, digital communications has already gone. Creative digital, technology solutions and IT. Now really within those, I would say, community sponsorship sides of things, this is where really as a sponsor, you know, you can get very much involved on that thought leadership, very much involved on even, you know, writing up what those job roles might look like, what are they involved in, and, you know, there may be people within your organisation who might want to be affiliated to that. So if it's in the digital communication space, then there may be writers who want to, you know, explain what you know, a content writer is about, or a content manager, etc., or social media manager, or what have you. What does that actually look like? As with all the other sides of things. So please do come to myself and Eleanor and let us know if you're interested in those. As I say, we also have a sponsorship brochure, which you'll be able to click on at the bottom there, so that you can go into it and have a look at all of the different elements that, all the benefits that are related to each of those different sponsorship packages. Next slide, please, Claire. And I think we've just got a last little, if you would like to just play this, Claire, that would be great. Very much, Claire. Next slide. Oh, great. So we're now to questions. So please do put anything that you would like to ask us in the questions box. Hope that's given you a little bit of an overview to the Talent Engine. As I say, it's been a very busy 6 months, and we're extremely excited. The momentum's growing. And you know, the people are really sort of seeming very excited about this, which is fantastic. So really looking forward to the next stage of this. Please do contact either myself or Eleanor. And Freya, unfortunately, who couldn't be with us today, she's actually talking at one of the universities. Thank you very much, and you know, please do keep in touch with us all. And thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
So we actually have a couple of questions already. We have Dan has asked us, is the Talent Engine focused on bridging the skills gap or solely focused at the discovery stage? Infinity 27's industry, our industry, immersive in games, has no lack of newbies wanting in, but very few have the experience or demonstrable skills even after graduating bachelor's or master's level.
Yeah, so the first question with regards to the discovery stage, no, it's actually, we are moving on. You know, the discovery stage is just the first part of the project. So no, we don't stop here. We obviously will keep moving forward. And you know, please do get in touch with us, and we can have that conversation with you as to how we can help. I think your question is really pertinent with regards to the entry level, and there's many people who are coming into that. I think where we are with the project and the strategy and the vision of the start of this is that, yes, it is for entry level. Yes, we know that there are an abundance of those people. But what we are finding is that there is confusion in the marketplace. So a lot of that talent is being lost, and then we don't have the talent in the region, and then that will obviously counteract the problem that you have sort of at middle management level. So as I said earlier, we're not discounting that, and we're not saying that we're not moving forward with middle management and actually trying to provide information and help to sort of align those. But what we are saying in the first instance is that we're trying to retain the talent and trying to sort of navigate and move that through the sort of the marketplace, as it were. And you know, this will evolve and change. As I've said, you know, at the beginning of the discovery stage, we thought we were going in one direction, but actually the marketplace is telling us something different. So now we're actually reacting to that, because it's not about what I think, but it's about what the market thinks. It's about what or what Dynamo thinks. It's about what the market's telling us that they want us to do. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of an answer.
Yeah, I think that the point about the industry having no lack of newbies wanting in, but very few have the experience or skills after, you know, graduating or whatever, I think that's a really interesting point, isn't it? Because what we will do on the Talent Engine, as you said, Helen, before, we're not here to train people, but we can signpost people to different opportunities there are for training and for further development. And we also have the capacity to contribute to discussions around new courses and new programs, which we won't deliver as we're not training providers and educators, but would love to collaborate on any discussions where we might be able to add value, and that might connect with what we're trying to do within the Talent Engine too. So Dan, I know that you've spoken to Helen. This is Dan Baird, I think. I know you've spoken to Helen before, and very happy to carry on speaking after this event too. So thank you for your question.
And I think the other thing that the Talent Engine will do from you know, how we move people through the sort of the system, or that navigating their way through, is that we do know that people are searching for a particular role, but actually that they're searching particular words, but we know that actually the job role isn't that. So it's about actually being able to try and sort of facilitate, well, what does that look like? And actually, if they can't meet that role, what upskilling path is there for them to maybe go on a boot camp, or you know, go into some sort of training provider role that then can help them to sort of catapult onto that next step of their journey. So yes, we don't provide the actual training or the boot camp or what have you, but there will be people who can do that, and that facility is there without a doubt for them to be able to provide that profile and raise a profile for what it is that they can then help candidates to navigate and move through that career path that they probably didn't realise was the path for them, because they didn't understand it.
Thanks. We have another question from Yasmina. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Who I follow on LinkedIn actually, so it's great to see you here. And you say that the mentor program sounds like something you'd love to be involved with. I know that you're speaking from the point of view of someone who would like to be mentored as a mentee. And you're asking, is there a sign-up list for people who want to be mentored? Now, currently I have a sign-up form, an expression of interest form for mentors, and my next step is to do mentees. But in the meantime, I will definitely keep your details on record, and you and I can have a chat after this if you like, because I think that would be fantastic. So yeah, I can give you more information about that, and let's talk further after the session. Those are all the questions we have at the moment. So I don't know whether anyone else has any further questions before we wrap up. We have a few questions coming in the chat.
Okay. So the category sponsorship is £10,000 a year. And again, that's from Paul Lancaster. So yes, you can please do have a look at the brochure, and we'll share that again on LinkedIn. But again, with this, you'll be able to click on the link below.
Yes, David, sorry, I must have missed your question up in the chat about are there any plans to develop informational resources for secondary schools to raise awareness amongst pre-16 pupils of careers in the digital tech sector? So yeah, we know that this is so important that we need to start early, and actually we work very closely with Sunderland Software City, and they do a lot of work out with schools. We're connected with the Altitude Foundation, who are doing some fantastic work with people from this kind of age group and beyond. So yeah, what we're trying to do is connect with all the people who are working with schools and be involved in those discussions and conversations. So it may be that some of the content that we have on our site as well will be relevant to schools and to students within schools. So we're talking to colleges, but also we, like as you say, we need to make those connections with secondary schools, probably through the people who already have those connections and those links, and just raise awareness of all the fantastic content we're going to have on our platform. Helen, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I think that's absolutely right in what you're saying, and we as Dynamo North East, the projects move forward, but we Dynamo North East has recently merged with Sunderland Software City, so we've got a very very good connective network now, and as Ellen has said, they have a lot of work going on in the schools, etc. So certainly those connections will be there for us to be able to help to facilitate that as we move forward. But yeah, so it is noted, David. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We have another 5 minutes, so we have a little bit of time if anyone has a final burning question. And, you know, obviously we'll circulate these slides. There'll be links to our contacts so you can get in touch with us whenever. Otherwise, if anybody has a last question.
Well, that's fantastic, honestly. I hope that people have that you found this informative and helpful, and we'll certainly be coming back out again, you know, once we got, you know, a little bit further down the line, and clearly we'll be letting you know when we're going to be launching, but we'll be working with you, hopefully, if you're wanting to sort of join the Talent Engine, and, you know, working to get you up there on the platform. So absolutely fantastic. And thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.